I'm back with another tape recorder. I probably won't even upload this one. Probably. I don't. It doesn't really matter. They gonna steal them all. They gonna steal it. If you don't say it, they gonna reach your mind anyway. So, as far as I know. So, I was just thinking of whatever. Why these people? When it seems like this is clearly, when it seems like, from my understanding, this is clearly at the end. Nobody still won't say that to you. Nobody still won't give you $1. Nobody still won't pay you none of your money back. Nobody still won't say nothing to you. And it seems like the shit is still the same at all. It's still the same exact shit. I'm starting to kind of just figure out. It's almost like you got to figure this out yourself. It's like you got to save yourself. These women, you could stop. It's almost like saying, you could forget. You could stop worrying about things going the way it was supposed to go. It's almost like saying you can forget about that. Which is almost the equivalent of saying, if the movie said one of them girls supposed to help you, well, they already went off script from that. So which says that help ain't coming from none of those girls. So I'm saying, that's almost like saying you might as well just accept that none of those girls is never gonna help you. So because if they did, they would have already done that by now. So I mean, if they was already did it. It's almost saying if they ain't done it by now, they ain't gonna do it. So I'm saying, I was just trying to figure out, because when you hear how it sounds, especially when I was talking, especially the last two tape recorders, I was thinking, how the fuck could I be talking like that? And you would have to you have to sit there and say, what the fuck does it take for these humans? You know what I'm saying? To do what sounds like common sense. So then I started thinking to the last two videos, and first of all, see, because I didn't have to just do. It's almost like I didn't have to save my damn self. You know what I'm saying? So, first thing I would say is, what I done kind of figured out to myself is the only thing that would make sense to me. The only thing that would make sense to me, because remember, I'm a smart person, so eventually I will figure it out on my own, with some help from God, and I will figure this out on my own. As you can see, the longer they wait, the more I find out on my own. As they could, I don't know if they noticed that by now. I don't know if people notice that by now, but the longer they wait, the more I find out on my own. So at this point, I pretty much came to the conclusion that the problem is, and what I'm thinking, the problem is, you just too big. Like, seriously, too big. The problem I think is that you way bigger than you thought you was. So what I'm saying, which is why they don't want you to see it. You know, you thinking, see, it's the reasons why they was doing shit. It's what you was wrong about. This whole time you thought they wouldn't show you because it was too embarrassing to show you. Nah, that ain't it. They won't show you because you're too big. You see what I'm saying? You too big for them to show you. See what I'm saying? You know, no, obviously, I don't know exactly what the reason is. I could be right, I could be wrong. But I'm just trying to, you know, that's what I'm starting to think because the reason why I'm starting to think that is because it's because this Michael Jackson stuff I was talking about. And I'm gonna just tell you straight up. Only the old people know exactly how big Michael Jackson was. So I'm saying, I'm not that old. I'm not that old. I'm old, but I'm not that old. So I know how big Michael Jackson was, but it's almost like my daughter. It's almost like me with my daughter. Z know how big I am right now, but she probably don't know how big I am, how big I was when it first started. See what I'm saying? Meaning like right now, like for example with Michael Jackson, I don't know how big he was. See what I'm saying? Because I was not around. His biggest when he was in his prime. Remember, Michael Jackson started so young. See what I'm saying? He started as a kid. His prime was actually before I was even born. Let me see. Now, and you know another reason why I know I was just as big as Michael Jackson without seeing nothing? Because what was his special move? What was his special move called? The moonwalk. The moonwalk. Now, you see how smart I am? You see how I can figure shit out on my own? You see why they should just give, you see? The moonwalk. That's why I think I was just as big as Michael Jackson at bare, like Ariana used to say, at bare minimum. I mean, like Ariana liked to say, at bare minimum. That's why I think, oh yeah, you was big as Michael Jackson. At bare minimum, you was big as Michael Jackson. In his prime. Because his special move was called the moonwalk. That's what he was known for. Now I want all the young people that wasn't around to see Michael Jackson when he was in his prime. If I tell you Michael Jackson's special move was called the moonwalk, now don't that make the young people think? Don't that make the young people feel awkward? See what I'm talking about? The moonwalk. See what I'm saying? Now, right after I had these thoughts, right after I woke up, right? Right after I woke up, I'm walking, right? And guess what the only thing I see? A hat. I see a hat on the fucking sitting on like a little thing where you put trash in, but it's not, you know, they had these little barrels or whatever by the bench, and you could throw trash inside of them. It's sitting on top. It's a hat sitting on top of it. The same type of hat Michael Jackson used to wear. It's that same type of hat. It's a hat that'll make you think of Michael Jackson, basically. It don't look exactly like his hat. I mean, it's not the exact hat he used to wear, but you would think of Michael Jackson when you see that hat. So that's the only thing out here. The only object out here is a hat that would make you think of Michael Jackson. The wind just blew it on the ground or whatever because it's windy as fuck out here. I'm freezing cold outside. It is freezing cold. We are 1 week away from June and it's freezing cold out here. Now, it's no way I could, me being from Louisiana, it's no way I could have expected this, expected it to be this cold. A week from June. I was in Los Angeles at this time. It was nowhere near this cold. Nowhere near. So I've been on the West Coast before. I was in Los Angeles 3 or 4 years ago. We all know that. We all know I was in Los Angeles 3 or 4 years ago. It was not cold like this when I came here last time. So I don't know what's going on with the weather. But we all know that in June, it's supposed to be hot. It's freezing cold. I mean, it is freezing cold to the point to where, when I tell you it's cold, you're not even supposed to have no jacket on at this time. And I got a long sleeve shirt on and a jacket, and I'm still too cold. We are 1 week away from June. So, I'm not even because it's almost like it keep stringing me along. I keep saying, well, it can't be colder. It can't be that cold much longer. So I'm not gonna worry about it. You know what I'm saying? And then it keeps being cold. Like, what the fuck? I've been saying that since March. Well, we're in March now, so I know it ain't gonna be colder. We'll probably have. I've been saying this since March. We're in March, so I know it ain't gonna be cold. We probably got another week or two, and then it's gonna get hot. And I've been saying that since March, and we all the way in. We finna be in June now, so I've been saying that for at least 2 months now. And you see what I'm saying? So back to this Michael Jackson thing. I cannot even imagine how big that dude was. Only I would have to talk to some old people, because it's almost scary how big he was. And let me explain to y'all why I say that. It's almost scary how big Michael Jackson was in his prime. The reason why I say that is because I was around to witness the end of his career. And let me tell you, that nigga was too big at the end of his career. Meaning the white, when his skin turned a different color, he was too big then. That wasn't the prime Michael Jackson. I'm talking about when he changed his skin tone, when his skin tone changed to like a white person, he was too big then. That's the Michael Jackson I remember. That's when I was old enough to, you see what I'm saying? When I was old enough to remember Michael Jackson was when he changed his skin tone. When he had my skin tone, I wasn't old enough to remember that. I wasn't around then. So So I would have to ask somebody older than me would have to tell me how big he was when he had my skin tone. Cause I don't know that. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not that old, you know. I probably was a little baby. I was like a little baby when he had my skin tone and he was in his prime. So obviously I don't know that. So when I was a kid, when Buffalo Bills went to the Super Bowl, this is what I remember as a kid. When the Buffalo Bills went to like their third Super Bowl or something, I think it was when they played the Dallas Cowboys. When Buffalo Bills played the Dallas Cowboys, Michael Jackson was the person performing at halftime. That was when he had the white people skin tone. He was still too big. So it's almost like saying, well, damn, at the end I know how big. See, that's why I say it's almost scary how big he was. It's almost scary to imagine how big he was when he had my skin tone. If I know how big that nigga was at the end of his career when he had the white people skin tone. See how we going back to that skin tone? What the fuck I just did with my water? Did I set my water down? Did I leave my water? What did I do with my water? Anyway, so it was almost like I have no clue. I cannot. If he was, look, at that time, that was the end of his career. That was seriously the end of his career. Like that was end of his run, because when he came back, he made like a comeback in like early 2000s, but people wouldn't, you know, when he came back in like the 2000s, that's when you could say he wasn't that big no more. See what I'm saying? That's when it was almost like that's when he could fit in with the other celebrities. It's when he came back in the early 2000s when he made that song, You Rock My World. And he had Chris Tucker in the video. When he came back and said with that song called You Rock My World, that's when he made like a comeback. That's when he was big then. That song with Chris Tucker, he was big then, but that's when he was like normal big. See what I'm saying? That's when Michael Jackson was normal. You know how old he was by that time? Let's look it up. Let's look it up real quick. Let's look it up. I can do that while I'm that was 2001. His album was called Invincible. I think he had Chris Tucker in that song with him. Let me see. Yep. Yeah, he had Chris Tucker in the song with him. So, now that's the Michael Jackson that was like, well, you could say he was normal big, like a normal celebrity. It took that long for him to become a normal celebrity. Seriously, that's You Rock My World. When he made that song, You Rock My World, that's when you could say Michael Jackson was on the level of a normal celebrity. That's when he could fit in with the other celebrities. See what I'm saying? It's almost like saying that's when they could kind of fuck with him. That's when they could kind of fuck with him. That's when they could, you see what I'm saying? That song was still big, you know? But let me see how old he was when he made that. Because he was old by then. And that's when they could kind of fuck with him, when he got old. When he really got old. So that's 2001. Let me see Michael Jackson's age. Okay, 58, 68, 78, 88, 98. He was 43. So he was 4 years older than I am right now. They go to 4 again. So when he was 43 years old, that's when other celebrities could finally fuck with him a little. That's when he could fit in basically with the other celebrities. See what I'm saying? That's when he could like, you know, that's when he don't just devour everybody else. When he 43. So now let's see how old he was when he made Thriller, because that's when he was at his prime. Everybody know how old he was. Okay. See, now look, this gonna scare some people. Guess when Thriller came out? On the 23rd, January 23, 1984. We in 2023 right now. Thriller came out January 23rd, 1984. That's what it's saying on Google. Maybe Google got this wrong. It say Thriller is a song by the American singer Michael Jackson. It was released by Epic Records in the UK in November 1983, and it released in the US on January 23rd, 1984. Same year I was born. So I wasn't even born yet. I literally was not even born when Michael Jackson was in his prime. I was born 2 months later. When Michael Jackson was in his prime, I wasn't even born. So you know I don't know how big he was. I was not even born. But he dropped it on the 23rd. We in 2023 right now. He dropped it on January 23rd, 1984. A few months before, 2 months before I was born. So you know I don't know how big he was. Now, let's see when his career started. We don't need to know all that, because we know he started when he was little. He was in that Jackson 5 group. But we know Thriller is when he was in his prime. It's simple to know when he was in his prime. Thriller. And it sold more than Elvis. It sold more than the Beatles. See what I'm saying? He devoured everybody. See what I'm talking about? He was too good. He was too big. He devoured every fucking body. All those legends like the Beatles and Elvis and Elton John and all them legends, he devoured all of them. He conquered all of them. See what I'm saying? Made them look small. He made them people look small. And his special move was called the moonwalk. See what I'm saying? Are the young people listening to this? Because the old people, the only people who know how big he was, is the old people. Those the only people who know how big Michael Jackson was, is the old people. And you know I'm 39 years old and I wasn't even born. So you would have to talk to your grandmother and ask her, how big was Michael Jackson in his prime? Those are the only people who could tell you that. I can't even tell you. Cause you know you have to be around and experience that shit to know how big somebody. You can't just look at the numbers. It's just like me. You can't look at my numbers, right? You can't go to YouTube to see how big I am. Right? Right, Candy? Right, Brandy? You can't go to YouTube to see how big I am, right? If somebody 50 years from now go on YouTube, they'll be like, oh, John wasn't that big. So we know the numbers can lie in some situations. Every now and then, them numbers can lie. YouTube is not telling you how big I am, right? YouTube don't tell you that, right? Google don't tell you how big I am, right? See what I'm talking about? Google don't tell you how big I am. YouTube don't tell you how big I am. Facebook and Instagram do not tell you. They don't tell the truth, right? Facebook and Instagram do not tell the truth, right? They don't tell you how big I am. You can't tell by looking at them numbers. YouTube don't tell you how big I really am. So you can't see that by looking at them numbers. The numbers already blow you away, right? So just from knowing that information, I know it ain't because it's too embarrassing. No, it's because you too big. But see, what I was around the experience? That Buffalo, him at the end of his career, which was about 10 years after Thriller. The end of his career. See what I'm saying? So you expecting people to pay you right now because you at the end. You expecting the public to pay you right now because you at the end would be the equivalent of expecting them would be the equivalent of Michael Jackson asking them to pay him at the Buffalo and Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl, because that was the end of his career. I know I was around to experience that part. He was still too damn big at the end of his career. So that's basically what that's telling me. I'm still too damn big. Cause let me just confirm that to make sure. See, I have to help my damn self. I gotta save myself. I gotta use my own brain, my own smartness, my own intelligence to figure this shit out myself. Cause people would never want you to, you so big, people would never want you to know it. I done seen people turn on people for way less status. Them people turned on Malcolm X. His own people turned on him. And he wasn't even close to Michael Jackson. He wasn't even close to as big as Michael Jackson. Malcolm X. Now Malcolm X, he known. I'm taking the young people to school right now because I know they don't know this shit. They not old enough to know it. But they had this dude back in the day called Malcolm X. Now, remember, he got the X after his name, right? Malcolm X. He known for getting snaked by his own people. That's why he dead right now. His own people snaked him. Because I guess when you get big, people hate on you. But that dude, Malcolm X, was not even close to as big as Michael Jackson. So I know if they would snake Malcolm X, because it's almost like saying that envy, that what Jesus said in that song with T.I. What did Jesus say in that song with T.I.? That song he did with T.I. What he said in that song? He said, fake ass motherfuckers envy. He called it fame. He called the song fame. And he said, And he said the initials. He said fame stands for fake ass motherfuckers envy. So that's what so Jeezy pretty much telling you. Jeezy pretty much telling me that fame will make, if you get too much fame, it will make motherfuckers envy. That's what Jeezy telling me already. See what I'm saying? I know all Jeezy music. You heard? Jeezy already made a song called Fame. And he said in that song, he said fame stands for fake ass motherfuckers envy. So that's the equivalent of him saying, if you get too much fame, it'll make everybody envy you. See what I'm saying? It's almost like, nigga, it ain't no chance of you coming out that bucket. It would take a miracle. God would have to intervene for you to come out that bucket. Nigga, you was not in the bucket with Michael Jackson status. I know you not. I know you not in the bucket with Michael Jackson status. I would have never thought it. I would have never thought in a million years. So, now let me go to this Super Bowl. Because remember, them Super Bowls mean something. We know about that. I already told you about that Super Bowl with Buffalo and Dallas, right? So let me go to that Super Bowl. Yeah, because you know that Super Bowl is about, you know, me and Jada. That Super Bowl is for me and Jada. Super Bowl halftime. Buffalo versus Dallas. Okay. Oh, Super Bowl 27. And look, guess what? Look what it's telling you, y'all. The young people. Guess what Super Bowl Buffalo and Dallas played in? Super Bowl 28. Buffalo Bills versus Dallas Cowboys. Super Bowl 28. They played in Super Bowl 27 and Super Bowl 28. Didn't I tell you I was supposed to get paid at 27 or 28? Didn't I tell you it started at 27, I was supposed to get paid at 28? Now Michael Jackson was at one of those Super Bowls. 27 or 28. Which one was he at? Well, let me see. Let me see which one he was at. He was at one of those because I remember that. See, I remember Michael Jackson. I remember the Michael Jackson when he had the white skin tone. That's when I was old enough to remember him. I wasn't old enough. I was a little baby in his prime. When he was in his prime, I was a little baby. So, hold up. Let me see. I guess you had enough. I guess you was big enough to make your friends envy, right? God damn, you was that big? To where your family and your friends will envy you too? What the fuck? Oh, you really was too big. $1993. Yeah, Super Bowl 27. Now this is Michael Jackson. Okay, so 93. I'm finna do the math real quick. 93. 7 years, 8. So he was 35. He was 35 at that Super Bowl. That was when he was at the end of his run. That's like saying me at where was I at 35 years old? That's like me in Los Angeles. So it's like saying in Los Angeles, nigga, you was still too big. See what I'm saying? Because that's how old I was in Los Angeles. No, I was 34 in Los Angeles. 35 was Philadelphia. So yeah, that was in Philadelphia. So it's like saying in Philadelphia, Tasha, how big was I? Tasha, you gotta let me know. How big was I when I moved across that street from you? How big was I? This shit is too embarrassing, bro. The public is too embarrassing for this shit. No wonder nobody won't say nothing to you. Now it's starting to make sense to me why nobody won't say nothing to you. Now it's starting to add up. What did they call Mike? What? Guess what Michael Jackson's nickname was? The King of Pop. The King of Pop. That was his nickname. The King of Pop. And his special move, the moon walk. Oh yeah, Michael, and when he performed at the Super Bowl with the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys. That was his Super Bowl. The Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys. That's the Super Bowl where he sung at. He didn't perform at no other Super Bowls. All them years Michael Jackson was in the game. Michael Jackson was in the game for about 20 years. He could have performed at any damn Super Bowl, right? He only performed at the one with Buffalo Bills and Dallas Cowboys. That's the one he performed at. His nickname was the King of Pop. And his special move was called the moon walk. Now I know how they walk the women out of the store after they moon them. I heard about that on the tape recorder. You see how simple this shit is? Now I know he walked. Now I know they walked the women out of the same store after they mooned them. All they did was moon them. They didn't have to strip naked in the store. All they did was moon them bitches, right? Let me not even call them bitches. I'm gonna call them women just to keep this one, just to keep this tape recorder clean, kinda clean. I'm gonna call them women on this one. So they moon the women, right? The women go behind my back. They moon the women. They call their exes to meet them at the same store. The exes moon them and then walk them out the store with no clothes on. Am I right or am I wrong? Because that's what they say on the tape recorder. I don't even listen to them tape recorders no more. But I don't need to. Know why? Because I remember all that shit. You heard? So, So now, uh, now Malcolm X, he was a black dude or whatever. Uh, he was something like Martin Luther King. Uh, I don't think they got nobody like that in the game right now that do what he did, that do what he used to do. Who would be close to those people now? I don't think there's nobody in the game that does that type of stuff now. Yeah, it ain't nobody that do that now. You gotta have some of my type of personality to do that. Ain't nobody, these niggas ain't that real no more. These niggas ain't real like Malcolm X. They ain't got that type of heart no more. These men these days ain't got that type of heart. You're Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. These men these days ain't got that type of heart, which is why you don't see them type of men out here no more. None of those type of men don't exist no more. I'm the only type of nigga that'll do some shit like that now. I'm the only type of nigga that's still built like that. These other niggas just gonna stay quiet. See, if they had a nigga like Malcolm X living right now, he probably wouldn't be quiet. See what I'm saying? It's nobody out here like him. Except me. The type of nigga that'll say shit that people don't want to hear. The type of nigga that'll say some shit that'll ruffle people's feathers. That'll get you hated. That's the type of nigga Malcolm X was. His own people snaked him and killed him. His own people snaked him and killed him. I was trying to think of somebody who like him today. It's nobody like him right now. Nobody. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they don't make them type of men no more. Them type of niggas don't even exist no more. The only type of nigga that's like them is me. The type of nigga that don't give a fuck that'll say what need to be said. The rest of them niggas gonna stay quiet. See what I'm saying? But they supposed to be gangster though. Yeah. So you notice that, right? They don't make them type of people no more. Those Malcolm X, Martin Luther King type people, we don't have those kind of people no more. Yeah, you know. I know the truth hurts sometimes, but hey, I'm the truth. You heard? I'm the truth out here. I know the truth hurts sometimes. So, now back to Michael Jackson. I was not around. I was just a little baby. Actually, I was not even born. I was born a few months after Thriller. I was born like 2 months after he dropped Thriller. So I have no clue how big Michael Jackson was. I would have to ask an older person than me. I would have to ask somebody that's like in their 60s or something. I would have to ask somebody like 60-something years old. How big was Michael Jackson in his prime? You see what I'm saying? Because I don't know. What I do know is at the end of his run, which was that Super Bowl, I mean, you obviously know that was the end of his run. If I'm telling you Thriller was his prime, and that was 1984, and the Super Bowl was 1993. So that was 9 years later. So 9 years later, at the end of his run, it's what I remember. That's when I can remember Michael Jackson. I can't remember him. I don't remember the black Michael Jackson. I remember the white Michael Jackson. When his skin tone was white, that's the Michael Jackson I remember. I wasn't old enough to remember the black Michael Jackson. But I can tell the young people, because they wasn't old enough to remember the white Michael Jackson. They wasn't old enough. Ariana and Jada and Brandy, they not old enough to remember how big the white Michael Jackson was. I'm telling you, at the end of his career, at the end of his run, the white Michael Jackson was too big. That's how big he was. That's why I say that black Michael Jackson, he must have been scary. He must have been scary. I'm telling you, he must have been scary. You know why I say he must have been scary? He was scary big. He probably was scary big. You know why I say the white Michael Jackson probably was scary big? Because that video was literally scary. When he made Thriller, the video was literally scary. Let me check that. Let me see the Thriller video. Because I remember seeing that Thriller video. Yeah, it was, if you watch that video, it's scary. He was that big. He was so big to where it was scary. Literally. Go watch the Michael, all you young people, all you young people, go watch the Michael Jackson Thriller video. It's literally scary. That he was so big to where it was scary. So I'm telling you, so now I know how big I was. Now I know how big I was. I'm guessing since they got too much information, I'm guessing that means I'm like the white Michael Jackson now, since they got too much information. And just to make it simple. Just to make it simple, when you was like, you know, back in 2012, 2013, that probably when you was like the Thriller Michael Jackson. You probably was scary big. Which explains why God had you around a bunch of Mexicans in San Antonio. Because if you was still in Baton Rouge, being that big, see what I'm saying? If you was still in Baton Rouge being that damn big, it's almost like God saying, I gotta get him out of Baton Rouge. If they not going, you see what I'm saying? So, you know, he had to give you a few years to come, you know, had to give a few years to, you know what I'm saying, let your buzz cool off just a little bit before you can go back to Baton Rouge. Now, yeah, you go watch that video. The video is literally scary. It is literally a scary video. He was so big to where it was scary. Now, and the reason why I know that for sure is because I know the white Michael Jackson was too big. Meaning at that Super Bowl, Buffalo and Dallas, when he changed his skin tone to white, to a white person, he was still too damn big. That's 9 years later. 9 years later, he was still too big. That's like saying, if it started in 2000, because my last girlfriend was Anastasia in 2011. So if you go 9 years from that, if you go 9 years after Anastasia, what does that bring you? That bring you to 2020 in Philadelphia with the X's. 9 years after Anastasia brings you directly to the X's in 2020. So it's like saying in 2020 in Philadelphia, that's when you was like the white Michael Jackson performing at the Super Bowl in Buffalo and Dallas. You obviously still too damn big. I know for sure that white Michael Jackson was still too big. He was still too big. That's the Michael Jackson that I remember. And I know for sure, just from the numbers, I know the black Michael Jackson was way bigger. I can't even imagine how big he was when I was a little baby. I cannot even imagine it. I seriously cannot even imagine it. Because I'm telling you, the white Michael Jackson was too big. He was obviously the biggest person in the game. Obviously. See, I was around to remember that white Michael Jackson. The white Michael Jackson was too big. Nobody else was close. The only person who could even do a feature with Michael Jackson was Eddie Murphy. You had to be big. You had to be that big to even get a feature, to even get on a track with Michael Jackson. You had to literally be big as Eddie Murphy. Now let that sink in. That's how big you had to be just to get close to Michael Jackson. Just to get on the same song with Michael Jackson, you had to be big like Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was the only person who could even get on the same song with Michael Jackson. Them other rappers, they couldn't even get on the song with Michael Jackson. He was too big. So that just tells you how big Eddie Murphy was back then. Eddie Murphy was big enough to get on the song with Michael Jackson. That's how big Eddie Murphy was. Now you see why Eddie Murphy plays me in Golden Child? Eddie Murphy was super big. Eddie Murphy was that big. Is this making sense to the young people? Because I know the old people know this stuff. I'm taking the young people to school. I know the old people already know this shit. I'm taking the young people to school. You couldn't even get on a song with Michael Jackson. He was that big. The only person that was big enough to get on a song with Michael Jackson was Eddie Murphy. Yeah, Eddie Murphy made a few songs. Eddie Murphy didn't just do movies. He made a few songs too. You see what I'm saying? That's why Eddie Murphy plays me in Golden Child. Because they had to let the biggest person, they had to let the biggest person play as me. So when I say Eddie Murphy played as me in Golden Child, these young people think that that's not a big deal. Because they wasn't around. They wasn't around to know how big Eddie Murphy was. Eddie Murphy was super big. They think Eddie Murphy was like the equivalent of Kevin Hart or Michael B. Jordan or somebody. No, he was way bigger than them people. Way bigger. With all due respect to those people, to those actors that they got now, Kevin Hart and Michael B. Jordan and who else? Who else is a good actor right now? I like Michael B. Jordan, by the way. So, but who else is big? Who else is a big actor right now? I'm trying to think of somebody. I don't know. I don't feel like thinking. I don't feel like thinking of nobody else. But anyway, he wasn't like those people. Eddie Murphy was way bigger. Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, the other two people that play as me, see, these young people don't know. They don't know how big Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone was. Them two people was super big. It's not the same. People don't realize it. It's not the same. It's not the equivalent. It's just like when I say It's just like when I say Bo Jackson. They don't have a running back the equivalent of Bo Jackson right now. So you can't see, you would never know how good Bo Jackson was, because I can't say, well, the equivalent of Bo Jackson is who is a good running back right now? My mind going blank. I know the NFL. Patrick Mahomes or somebody. Bo Jackson was way better than Patrick Mahomes. See what I'm saying? You cannot find the equivalent of Bo Jackson. Nobody is the equivalent of Bo Jackson playing right now. See what I'm saying? I don't want to say Patrick Mahomes because he's not the same position. I'm trying to find a running back. Let me just go ahead and, because I don't want to just get the name calling for no reason. You know, when I call somebody a name, I like to have a serious reason for saying their name. So, NFL, hold up. So yeah, when I say your name, if you're a celebrity, I'm only saying your name to make a point. You should feel honored if I say your name. Don't take it as disrespect. So, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is not close to Bo Jackson. He's not even close. See what I'm saying? Christian McCaffrey. He is not close to Bo Jackson. You can't find the equivalent of Bo Jackson, so the young people would never know how good he was. Because I can't say, well, he's like this person. They don't have like Deion Sanders. They don't have a cornerback right now that's the equivalent of Deion Sanders playing right now. They don't have the equivalent right now. See what I'm saying? You would have just had to see Deion Sanders. You would have just had to been around at that time. Deion Sanders was so good, they wouldn't even throw on his side of the field. He would shut down the whole side of the damn football field. They would throw on the other side of the field. They were scared of him. They don't have a cornerback right now that's the equivalent of Deion Sanders. They literally would throw on the other side of the football field. So he wouldn't, if you threw on his side of the field, 9 times out of 10, he would intercept it and run it all the way back and score. And be dancing while he run. He would be dancing on his way to the end zone. He would be high stepping. He would be high stepping on his way to the end zone. He would be literally high stepping. And then when he get in the end zone, he'll start dancing. That's what Deion Sanders used to do. He would literally start dancing after he get to the end, after he score. Like, no exaggeration. He would be high stepping. He was that fast. He would like embarrass your ass. He would embarrass you. So they don't. So when I say Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, you would have had to been around to see how big those people is, because these actors are not that big. See what I'm saying? So when I say Eddie Murphy, when I tell Z we got a movie and Arnold Schwarzenegger playing this man in a movie, she don't even know how big Arnold Schwarzenegger was. The dude was super big. Eddie Murphy was super big. That's why Eddie Murphy is the only one that could get on the song with Michael Jackson. See what I'm saying? Now, why you think that is? Eddie Murphy it was not because of his talent as a singer. It was because of his status. They had better singers than Eddie Murphy at that time. They had better rappers than Eddie Murphy. I don't know if Eddie Murphy was a rapper or a singer, because he made a song. It was kind of like he was rapping. You know, I guess he made a few rap songs, But obviously they had better rappers than Eddie Murphy at that time. But they couldn't get on the song with Michael Jackson. Eddie Murphy could, even though he wasn't that good. Know why he could still get on the song with Michael Jackson and Run DMC and Rakim and Eazy-E and NWA, all them people, they couldn't get on the song with Michael Jackson. But Eddie Murphy could. Know why? Because of Eddie Murphy's status. Eddie Murphy had the same type of status. His status was close enough to Michael Jackson to get on the song with him. I know the truth hurts. See what I'm saying? Basically what I'm saying is it's levels to this shit. See what I'm saying? Those rappers wouldn't on Michael Jackson level to get on a song with him. Eddie Murphy was close enough to his level. See what I'm saying? To get on a song with Michael Jackson. So when I say Eddie Murphy playing as me and Golden Child, they probably remember Eddie Murphy at the end of his career when he was making those movies like what was those movies at the end? There was those movies in the 2000s that he made. That's not the same Eddie Murphy. See what I'm saying? The real Eddie Murphy is when he made Beverly Hills Cop and Coming to America. That's the real Eddie Murphy. That's the prime Eddie Murphy. That he was too big. So what I'm saying is that could be the problem right now for me. When you think it's that bad for you, nigga, you probably don't, you might still be too damn big. See what I'm saying? Because the reason why you would be thinking that things are that bad is because you ain't seen nothing. They wouldn't let you see your success, basically. That's why you had that dream with the white girl telling you you was on top. You needed that dream. Because nobody will let you know that. Nobody will let you know you was on top. A girl had to tell you in your dream that you was on top. A white girl had to tell you in your dream that you was on top. Because nobody else will tell you in person. When they all tell you they don't know who you is. They say they don't even know you. When you on top like Michael Jackson. When you on top like a prime Michael Jackson, like the Thriller Michael Jackson. And we know, just from your style. I know y'all know about that word style. We know just from your style that you probably bigger than Michael Jackson. You probably bigger than the Thriller Michael Jackson. Because Michael Jackson, compared to you, he come on, man. Come on, bruh. Come on now. Your style is different. You a gangster. You a street nigga. With Thriller Michael Jackson status. Michael Jackson wasn't no street nigga. You heard? He did that just off talent. See what I'm saying? It's almost like saying you got Michael Jackson thriller status, and you a street nigga, and you gangster. See what I'm saying? So when you sit here wondering if everybody know you, nigga, that's not even a wonder. That would be like saying when you ask somebody, do they know who you are? I'm not asking from here on out. I'm not asking nobody, do they know who I am? I'm not even gonna ask you. I'm not even gonna ask you. It's disrespectful to myself. I'm at this point with the information that I have. I would be disrespecting my damn self if I even asked you, do you know who I am? Of course you know who the fuck I am. Is Barack Obama gonna ask you, do you know who he is? He already know you know who he is. So this gotta be a public announcement. I just wanna put the public on notice. I don't need to ask you, I don't even need to ask you, do you know who I am? I'm that sure you know who I am. So you can stop the bullshit at this point. Stop the bullshit. Just go ahead and stop it. Stop the bullshit. I'm not bleaching my fucking skin. I'm not changing my skin tone. Bitch. It ain't no chance of me changing my skin tone. You can't even pay me enough to change my skin tone. God damn, John, you better than you thought you was. On multiple. Don't tell me I'm better than I thought I was on multiple. Don't tell me I'm better than I thought I was on multiple. God damn. You fake ass motherfuckers. Let me stop, bro. Let me stop. Because I know some people might not want to be in that Kahoot shit. Some people might not want to be in it. So for those few people, you know, damn, I gotta piss. Hold up. Oh, this one gonna be a long one. I'm not even done talking. It's already an hour. This one might be 2 hours. It's all good. The time go by fast when it's entertaining, right? That was the fastest hour in history. I know. I don't have to ask you if it's entertaining. Know why? Because the information tells me that it's entertaining. The information tells me when the time go by fast, that means you entertaining them. That was the fastest hour in history. Let's see something. Ooh. Google telling you that you need to come out of cahoots. Google telling you, obviously. Let's see what Google says about cahoots. Now, I want the public to know this. Google telling y'all going to hell if you don't come out of cahoots. Google is straight telling you. So, you know, I got to shout out to Google. Google, you're doing your job. You know, I think I'm gonna go back to get y'all a phone again that y'all made for me. Google is doing their fucking job. Look at what Google said when you type in cahoots. This is what Google say about cahoots. Cahoots is used almost exclusively in the phrase in cahoots, which means in an alliance or partnership. In most contents, it describes the conspiring activity of people up to no good. That's what it says in cahoots. That's what Google say. That's what Google's saying. I'm not saying it, Google's saying it. Go search it up on Google, in cahoots. So, Ariana, remember when I told you ain't no point of you praying to God if you're going to stay in cahoots. Well, maybe you need to let Google tell you. Because I know you don't respect me, but maybe you respect Google. Google says, in most contexts, it describes the conspiring activity of people up to no good. That's what it says about in cahoots. So, Ariana, you do realize you up to no good, right? According to Google. So why you praying to God when I didn't tell you and Google didn't tell you? Cause you know Ariana, she's the girl that said bare minimum requirements. And Ariana already know. Ariana, you know how sure Ariana is that she was supposed to be the queen? Her name starts with a fucking Z. That's how sure she is. And she a 2-time champion. Ariana, you know you was supposed to be the queen, right? You know you was supposed to be the queen, right? That's why your name start with a fucking Z. So, now she not the only girl. It's a few more girls. We know the other girls, but I'm just picking on Ariana because she said bare minimum. she said bare minimum requirements. Yeah. You know, it's been 3 years now, and she done moved on. She got a boyfriend now. Yeah. So I'm not trying to take her from her man. I'm not trying to take her from her boyfriend. You know, I know he giving her a good ass whipping. Ariana, I know he giving you a good ass whipping. So I'm not trying to take you from him. But I'm just letting you know you was supposed to be the queen a few years ago. And you didn't even talk. So yeah, don't let Ariana fool y'all. Her name starts with a Z. Her real name starts with a Z. See what I'm saying? So So when she say, I'm stacking my money and praying, and I told her, I was like, how the fuck is you praying when you still in cahoots? She did not respond. Ariana did not respond. But Google telling her, in cahoots, which means in an alliance or partnership, describes the conspiring activity of people up to no good. So Google telling you simply, if you in cahoots, you are up to no good. So, I mean, ain't nobody gonna be confused about this shit later. Now, I know people never wanted you to know this stuff, but I already know I'm biggest the prime Michael Jackson. Now, since they got too much information, now I'm probably like the white Michael Jackson. But I see what I'm saying? Them getting too much information probably just dropped me to the white Michael Jackson. Meaning I'm not as big as Thriller no more. But I'm still as big as the Buffalo Bills Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl. I'm still too big. That's the equivalent of what I'm telling the public. I know that I'm still too damn big. Which is why they still not paying me. Even with a small dick, I'm still too big. Right, Brandy? Right, Ariana? Right, Candy? Right, Jada? Hey, let me talk to my daughter. Hey, you saw my website, right? How I designed the website around you? Hey, Janae, even with a small dick, I'm still too big, right? Listen to y'all. Listen to how that sounds. Hey, black secretary, even with a small dick, I'm still too big, right? Oh shit. This is too embarrassing. Oh shit, son. Who else I wanna mention? I don't, cause I know these girls like attention. I don't want them to feel left out. Cause if I don't speak about them for too long, oh my bad, Sanity. How could I forget Sanity? I don't want to talk about Sammy. She might be still, she probably deep throating right now. But Sanity. I don't want to disrupt Sammy. I'm gonna leave Sammy alone because I know she probably deep throating right now. Sammy probably going deep right now, so I'm not gonna bother her. But hey, Sanity, even with a small dick, I'm still too big, right? You would never think it, right? See, I have to educate. You know why I have to educate the young people? Because they won't know it. They was not around. I don't even know how big Michael Jackson was. I don't even know it. So I know they don't know. I'm that sure that they don't know how big Michael Jackson was. Because with no exaggeration, I can't imagine how that dude could have been any bigger. But the numbers telling me he was bigger. I cannot imagine how big that Thriller Michael Jackson was. I can't imagine it. Because I'm telling you, the reason why I'm telling people this, let me explain to the girls I can explain to y'all simply why I'm saying that I cannot imagine how big the black Michael Jackson was. Know why I say that? It's because the white Michael Jackson was too big. He was still the biggest person by far. Like nobody else was close. Now, from what I can remember, when I was a little kid, they had another dude named Prince. Whenever he dropped that song Purple Rain, that's when he gave Michael Jackson a little competition. When he dropped that song Purple Rain. So Prince did give Michael Jackson a little competition when he dropped Purple Rain, but Michael Jackson still blew him out. See what I'm saying? It's almost like saying, when them girls went to go check their exes gave John a little competition, but John still blew their ass out. See what I'm saying? John was still too big. It's like saying they exes gave John a little competition when he got older. But John was still too big for them. This is some stuff I would have never thought God had to show this to me because he know I wouldn't have never thought it. People was in cahoots so good to where I would have never thought it. You motherfuckers are some, y'all, that cahoot shit wasn't no joke. They did a good job. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. I had to give y'all a round of applause for that shit. Y'all did a damn good job. But it's over now. It's over. So yeah, so it's over now. I'm not even gonna ask you if you know who I am. I'm that show. Like that girl said in Los Angeles, they is really that show. I am really that show. You know who I am. It's kind of like saying, you know, and now I realize why they say that show. See, if I get the psychology part of it when they say that show, because you really do need to be that show. See what I'm saying? It's almost like saying it's levels of how show you are. See what I'm saying? I'm that show that everybody know who I am. Not 99%, not 90%, not 50%. They act the way the public act. You would think it's 50%. You would think half the people know and half the people don't. Or 80% of the people know, or 70%. You would not. It's hard to even tell that 90% know, let alone everybody. But you know, because these people, and look, this is their own actions confirm it. Their own actions confirm it. Know why? Because it's the psychology part of it. For them to be in that, it's almost like saying you can't blame the government all the way for this shit. I promise you, the government couldn't do this. The government cannot do this on their own. See what I'm saying? The government couldn't control everybody like this. See what I'm saying? The way that people are in cahoots is no way the government could make them do that. They doing their job. See what I'm saying? They doing it too good. Let me explain what I mean. The way to see, because nobody don't walk in my shoes to know what I go through. The way the public is in cahoots, I know it's not the government making them do that. See what I'm saying? It's almost like saying, if somebody working a job, you could tell the people who a person that's working for a company gonna work different than a person than if you hired your own son or your own daughter to work for your company, right? Your own daughter gonna work differently than somebody who don't even know you. See what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people, when they do those small businesses, they'll hire their own people. They'll hire their brother or their cousin to come work for them, because they know them people gonna work different than if they hire some dude off the streets. You see what I'm saying? If you get the smart people get what I'm saying. It's the same reason why you think when people open up businesses, before they get big, when they first starting out, they like to hire people that they already know. They like to hire people that's like in the family. Know why? Because they know those people gonna work harder and work smarter for them. Then Why, if they hire some other dude, he just gonna be doing enough to get paid. See what I'm saying? He just gonna do enough to collect his paycheck. In other words, the way the public is in cahoots, they not working like they just doing it to get a paycheck. See what I'm saying? It's almost like saying the way the public is in cahoots, they not doing it in a way just to listen to the government. See what I'm saying? The public in cahoots like they want to be in cahoots. They not in cahoots like the government saying be in cahoots. I'm telling y'all this from my own experience from dealing with these people. These people are not in cahoots like the government telling them to be in cahoots. They in cahoots like they already want to be in cahoots. That's the way they in cahoots, like they want to be in cahoots. Meaning like they in cahoots like, see what I'm saying? It's not like the government saying, if you let John know, we're going to lock you up or some shit. No. The government, these people are in cahoots like see what I'm saying? It's almost like they don't want me to know. These people are in cahoots like the government ain't even threatening them at all. Like you see what I'm saying? It's like they want me to stay. They want to make sure I don't find out. It's like they working for themselves or something. These people in cahoots like they hired their own people at a job. See what I'm saying? Like they in cahoots. What I'm saying is the effort that the public puts in to be in cahoots, it's like the equivalent of somebody hiring their brother or their sister to work with them on their job. See what I'm saying? You know your brother or your sister gonna work different than somebody that you just hire off the streets. Somebody that you hire off the streets, he just gonna work, he just gonna do enough to get a paycheck. But your own family, they gonna work to make sure your business is successful. To make sure you don't, see what I'm saying? To make sure you stay in business. Right? They gonna really make sure everything right. See what I'm saying? If you got a good family. I mean, you can't use my family for that. Of course you can't use my family. But somebody who got a good family, they know what I'm talking about. So what I'm saying is the public does such a good job of being in cahoots to where I know it ain't the government. Because if it was the government, then people would have been slipping up. People wouldn't be going as hard. Do people go that hard? The government make all kind of other rules. Do people go that hard? No. You only gonna go that hard if you want to. It's almost like saying the way the public is in cahoots, you would know they want to be in cahoots. You see what I'm saying? I'm not stupid. I know y'all want to be in cahoots. So don't try to. So I'm not wondering about the fucking government. The reason why I'm saying this is from my own experience with the public. You don't know how many people I'd ask, you know who I am? Blah, 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 blah. No, I don't. I mean, when I say they don't even, I mean, they on point with it. The public is on, the way they in cahoots, it's like they really, really don't want me to find out. You could put the really, really on it. The way people be acting in public will make you think they really, really don't want me to find out how big I am. I mean, they act perfectly. I'm letting the public know, give it up. Leave it alone. At this point, y'all gonna look stupid as fuck. I'm not even gonna ask you if you know who I am no more. That's how sure I am you know me. I'm not even gonna ask you if you know me. I'm that sure you know me. So I don't know where this is going from here. Because I'm too real to play. I'm too real. You know I'm a real nigga. Y'all know how real I am. So when I get this show, you know who I am, then it's a problem. It's a problem when I'm this show. And you know I'm a real nigga. You know I'm a real nigga. You already know I'm a real nigga. So I don't know where to go from here. You can't go to the police. So, you know, I don't know where to go from here. So, you know, it would be like, let me say that again. You really, really should have felt honored if I ever mentioned your name in a video, in a tape recorder. Because if I known I was this big, I wouldn't even mention your ass. So you little niggas better be happy that I even mentioned you in my fucking videos. If I knew I was this damn big, I wouldn't even mention you. Seriously, you won't get mentioned again. Now that I know I'm this damn big, you won't get mentioned again. Like back in the day. Like back in the day. Those other rappers couldn't even get on the song with Michael Jackson. They couldn't even get on the song with him. So, and look, I was a super quiet nigga, right? So maybe that's why I'm so quiet. See what I'm talking about? I didn't start talking until I found out they stealing my money. But before that, I was quiet as fuck. I really am a quiet person. See what I'm saying? That you see what I'm talking about? I really am a naturally quiet person. So you can't say, well, if he don't talk, that means he's stuck up or something. No, that's just how I am. I really am just a quiet nigga. I don't talk a lot. Whether I'm famous or I'm not famous. When I was just a regular person, I still was quiet. I always been quiet. I always been a quiet nigga. I never been a nigga that talk a lot. You motherfuckers made me talk a lot by stealing my money. So when I say I won't mention your ass, it'll be for multiple reasons. For one, I'm too big to mention you. Number two, I'm already a really quiet person who don't talk anyway. So it's multiple reasons I won't even mention you. Now I'm still a real nigga. So, I could still fuck with somebody, just if I think they real. They don't have to be on my status. They just gotta be somebody who I think is a real nigga. Real, recognized real. See what I'm saying? But, you know I was mentioning too many people. See what I'm saying? Y'all know that. I was mentioning too many celebrities. But you know why? These celebrities are people that I already liked. And they just like the women, they ain't appreciated. They stay quiet. See what I'm saying? These celebrities are people that I already liked. So it's like saying, it's hard to know. It's hard to know how I really would have been, because when you let me find it out while I'm pissed off. You should have told me you should have just told me. You let me find this shit out the wrong way. See what I'm saying? Obviously, I ain't gonna want to mention no fucking body now, cause you let me find this shit out the hard way. Now I'm fucking pissed off when I find out. So fucking right, I ain't gonna want to fuck with nobody. I find out I'm this big, and I have to find out the worst way. It's like I'm finding out the worst way how big I am. See what I'm talking about? It's like they sit there and let everything happen the worst way. You let him find out he Michael Jackson. You let him find out he like the Thriller Michael Jackson. You let him find that out the worst way. When he 39 years old and everybody been lying to him for 10 years. No, let me change that. 12 years. 12 years. Get it right. 12 years. No wonder these niggas got no mercy. No wonder they still heartless. No wonder they don't have no sympathy for you. Now it makes sense. Now it adds up. Now things starting to add up. I was like, how could these people be this fucking, you know what I'm saying? How could these people be like this? Now it makes sense. You heard? Damn, you, and then look, right from the start. Now let me show you how the government could have look, people pulling up, looking and shit. Nigga, I know you know who I am at this point. Now let me show you how the government could have helped, could have made this shit worse. The only way I think the government could have made this worse is by putting it on TV. You heard? So if they did that, then that's the only thing I think they could have done to make you unnecessarily bigger, right? Is if they put it on TV. I don't know if they put it on TV or not. Obviously, nobody's going to tell me that. You heard? But if you big as the Thriller Michael Jackson, I don't know how they could have done that through the cell phones in 2011. Because the cell phones wasn't really that. The cell phones was big in 2011, but the cell phones is not the cell phones right now is not what they was in 2011. Because I remember buying Anastasia a cell phone right before we broke up. I bought her a cell phone for like $200, and she was on Facebook already, but I wasn't on Facebook yet. You know what I'm saying? So technically, They could have been showing that stuff on the, it could have started on the internet. I mean, it could have started through the cell phones. But I'm thinking they showed that shit on TV. Because on the tape recorder, they said every channel. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe that. You know what I'm saying? On the tape recorder, they say they showed it on every channel. And I'm just like, I was just telling myself, bro, I know they didn't show me butt naked on every channel. That can't be true. So, you see what I'm saying? So that's why I just kind of like, you see why they torturing the nigga mental health? The shit that I done heard is just unreal. Yeah. But that's the type of shit that will put you on Michael Jackson status. That's the type of shit that will put you past Michael Jackson. You see what I'm saying? Because look, Michael Jackson was at a time. Now let me just tell y'all why I'm talking about this every channel stuff. Because I'm gonna make it make sense for you. The reason why I'm talking about this every channel stuff is because they got the cell phones now, right? So TV ain't as big as it used to be. So them putting me on every channel now would be about the equivalent. It's almost like saying back in the 80s, if Michael Jackson did a show or something and they put it on TV, it would be the equivalent of every channel right now. It would be the equivalent of them putting me on every channel right now. Because at that time, TV was way bigger. See, cell phones took some of the shine off TV. I'm educating the young people. These cell phones took some of the shine off of TV. Before the cell phones, TV was way bigger. See what I'm saying? That's a fact. So since cell phones took some of the shine off of TV, since people don't, you know, if you put it like this, if you on TV now, it's not as big as if you was on TV in the 80s. Because now it's so much other stuff, it's so much other places to watch stuff because of these cell phones. So because of these cell phones, TV ain't as big as it used to be. So now they would need to put me on every channel for it to be the equivalent of what it was in the 80s. See what I'm saying? So like put me on every channel now. See, put me on it, when you say every channel, it sounds so big, right? But it's really not, because every channel now is the same as being on one channel in the 80s. See what I'm saying? Being on, if they put it like this, if they put me on every channel in like 2011, that would be the equivalent of Michael Jackson being on one channel in 1984. See what I'm saying? Because they didn't have no cell phones. So they already know everybody gonna be watching it, right? Now, for them to get that type of attention, they would put it on, they would have to do every channel. See what I'm saying? They would need to do every channel now. They wouldn't need to do every channel back in the 80s. See what I'm saying? It's because of these cell phones. These cell phones took some of the shine off of TV. So it's almost like saying you don't shine that hard. If you on TV now, you're not shining as hard as you would have been shining if you was on TV in the 80s because of these damn cell phones. So when they say every channel, it sounds so big, but it's not as big as you would think because of these damn cell phones. But you know what it's still, but you know the only thing that it still has that same status effect though. It still has the same status effect because people will be like, he was on every channel. See what I'm saying? the public already know. The only time they put you on every channel is when you like the president or something. That's the only time they put you on every. Those are the only type of people that go on every channel at this point. Is if the president making some type of announcement or something, then they'll put it on every channel. Otherwise, it's very rare they put something on every channel. It'll make people develop a hatred for you. If they really did that, it would explain a lot. It would see, that's why I say that's the only way the government could have really made things worse on their part, is by putting you on every channel. If it just spread from word of mouth, from cell phones, then that wasn't the government fault. So the only way I could really say the government did something to make things worse is if they put you on every channel. I don't know if they did or not. So the only thing I need to find out is, did it spread from word of mouth, from cell phones, or did the government put you on every channel? Because if the government put you on every channel, then they made things worse. We know they didn't need to do that, right? We know that shit would have spread it from word of mouth just from the cell phones. See, if they put you on every channel, that's going to make people develop a hatred from you out the gate. That's going to make them envy you out the gate. See what I'm saying? Because a lot of people going to think like, well, he not supposed to be on every channel. Why the fuck he on every channel? See what I'm saying? So that's the only thing I need to find out. And that would explain some stuff. I don't really need to find that out, because either way you like Michael Jackson Thriller, either way. Either whether it was from the cell phones or the TV, either way you like Michael Jackson Thriller. You was like Michael Jackson Thriller. Now that they got these information, now that the women got too much information, well, now I guess now you done drop down to the white Michael Jackson. You like the Michael Jackson at the halftime Buffalo Bills game. You ain't like the Thriller Michael Jackson no more. But that doesn't matter. No, why? They still not gonna pay you, because obviously the white Michael Jackson was still too big to be in the damn bucket. See what I'm saying? The white Michael Jackson was still too big. Nobody's gonna pay him. Nobody would have paid that white Michael Jackson. He was still too damn big. So now I see why nobody still ain't paying you. You still too damn big. Right, Ariana? When I make you famous like that, you don't appreciate it. You go run and jump on another nigga dick. You heard? Right, Candy? When I make you famous and shit, you don't appreciate it, you torture a nigga. Now I see why the NBA girls still trying to kill you. You heard? The NBA girls trying to kill you. You too big. And you know how women is. That'll turn them off. They'll be like, that small dick nigga, why is he so big? That's probably what the NBA girls be thinking, right? Right, secretary? That small dick nigga, why he so damn big? He shouldn't be that big. Fuck it, my ex bigger than him. My ex got a bigger dick than him. I'll go put my ex on. I'll let my ex eat off his plate. Fuck that nigga. My ex got a bigger dick than him. That's what the NBA girls be thinking. Right, Brandy? I bet you another bitch won't get famous off Instagram from me. You Instagram bitches go have to find another nigga to blow you up. I got too much information to make you hoes famous, to make anybody else famous. I got too much information to even mention anybody else. Know why? Them motherfuckers don't appreciate it. And the other reason, I done already made too many people famous. Now I see why your brother cutthroat you. Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense why your brother cutthroat you. Backstabbed you. Snaked you. Now it makes sense. It was jealousy. Like Bret the Hitman Hart, when he was like the world champion and he was so damn big in the wrestling. Owen Hart was just jealous. He was jealous of his older brother, Bret. Owen was jealous of his older brother, Bret the Hitman Hart, right? That's why my brother snaked me, because I'm Bret the Hitman Hart. And he was jealous like Owen. You heard? That's exactly why your brother snaked you. Because you Bret the Hitman Hart. You the champion. And he the jealous little brother. That's why they call him the Rocket, Owen Hart. See what I'm saying? That's why they call him the Rocket, Owen Hart. That's why your brother in Houston. That's why they call Houston Rockets. That's why it's the Houston Rockets. The Rocket, Owen Hart. Houston Rockets. The Rocket, Owen Hart. They call Owen Hart the Rocket. See what I'm saying? That's why your brother live in Houston. I got this shit all figured out. I really am Bret the Hitman Hart. And he really is Owen Hart. That's why he snaked the nigga. I'm that show. I'm Bret the Hitman Hart. You see how show I am? That's why they make my bitches wrestle. You heard? That's why they make my bitches wrestle after they take my bitches, after they strip my bitches naked, they make them wrestle. I'm that show. I'm Bret the Hitman Hart. I'm the best. You heard? I'm the best they ever will be. You heard? I'm that damn good. It's that simple. So I don't have to wonder why he did what he did. I know why he did what he did. Let me say that again. I'm that show. I'm Bret the Hitman Hart. You heard? I'm that show. You know what they call his little brother, right? Owen? The Rocket. Owen Hart, the Rocket. Where does your brother stay at? In Houston. What is the NBA team in Houston? What they call them? The Rockets. I'm that show. So why did Owen snake Bret in the wrestling? Because he was jealous. He was jealous of Bret. Bret was the champion. And you know another thing. So what now what happened to Bret the Hitman Hart? What happened to him at the end of his career? What happened? D-Generation X. That's what happened. That's what happened to Bret. D-Generation X. The Generation X happened to Bret the Hitman Hart. That's why he had to leave WWF. Because of the D-Generation X. Go do your homework. D-Generation X. Go do your homework on the wrestling. It tell you the whole damn story. I really am Bret the Hitman Hart. That's why they used to say that what D-Generation X used to say. What was their slogan? Suck it. That was their slogan. Suck it. That's why Bret had to leave. They would see what I'm saying? That's why Bret had to leave the WWF. Cause you know, because when they formed that group against him, they called the group Generation X. The Generation X. Like a new generation of people, the Generation X. That's who attacked Bret the Hitman Hart at the end of his career before he left. He left right after. Go do your homework on the wrestling. And you'll be that sure that I'm Bret the Hitman Hart. Yeah, I know it's kind of shocking, right? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious too. Generation X, and what they used to say, I got 2 words for you. Suck it. They talking about suck my, you know what they talking about? The Generation X. They attacked Bret the Hitman Hart at the end of his career. That was before, so the brother stuff happened before that. Owen was before that. Owen was a few years before that when he was the champion. See what I'm saying? Now, who did Bret Hart beat to win the title? When he first got the title, who did he beat? He beat Ric Flair. See what I'm saying? The dude who make that sound. The dude who make that ass whipping sound. You know what I'm saying? When they be like, when the girls be like, woo, woo. That's what Ric Flair used to make a sound real similar. He used to say, what Ric Flair used to say? Style and profile. See what I'm saying? That's who Bret beat to win his first title. Yeah, they tell you everything in the wrestling. The wrestling, I don't know how they predicted that shit, but you know, I really am Bret the Hitman Hart. So, you know. You don't want to see what happened to his brother. You don't want to even know what happened to Owen. I don't even want to talk about that. I never saw it. They won't show you that stuff. They don't need to show you that. Because it's you know, because in real life, I'm pretty sure Bret was cool with his brother in real life. I'm pretty sure that was just like you know, I'm pretty sure that was like a role or something. You know, that was like a little role or something. I don't know if they really was beefing. See what I'm saying? Because they got cool after that. So I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? So obviously, Bret was already gone when his brother died. When his brother died, Bret had already left. You know, so I don't want to say that's I don't know if that's the reason his brother died like that. I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason his brother died like that. But Bret was not even that. Bret had already left when his brother died. See what I'm saying? I know some of that shit was real because whenever Degeneration X they cheated him on his last match, right? Shawn Michaels was in Degeneration X, and they literally cheated Bret in his last match before he quit. That was a real match. They wasn't faking that one. Bret was seriously pissed off after that match. And they say he went and punched Vince McMahon in the face. Like, no pretending. Like, he really went and punched him. Like, seriously. Like, no acting. See what I'm saying? He was that mad. So, and that's how you know, that's another way you know I'm Bret the Hitman Hart. Because he was actually too real. The wrestling is not supposed to be real. He was taking it serious. Bret was literally taking it serious. He would seriously get mad if he lose. See what I'm saying? If you talk to Bret the Hitman Hart, he'll tell you, oh, the wrestling was more realer than you think it was. See what I'm saying? People think the wrestling was fake. It is fake for the most part, but Bret Hart, he was such a real nigga that he was actually taking shit serious. Like, he literally punched Vince McMahon in the face for real. See what I'm saying? And Shawn Michaels, they cheated him on his last match. Vince McMahon, Bret never tapped out for real. They cheated him. He didn't tap out. I watched that match. He did not tap out. Vince McMahon told the referee, ring the bell. Ring the damn bell. And he gave Shawn Michaels his title. Bret was like, bitch, I didn't tap out. So after that, he got out the ring and went punch Vic. He got out the ring and went punch Vince McMahon in the face. Seriously. For cheating him. He was like, I never tapped. What the fuck are you doing? See what I'm saying? So, you know, you could say Bret Hart was wrong for taking wrestling too serious, but when you a real nigga, you gonna take that's how you is. That's just how he was built. See what I'm saying? So I just want the public to know I'm that show, that I'm that famous, like Michael Jackson. So I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is going at this point. I really don't. Like I said, remember when I told them, now we over 2 hours. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn if I have to talk 3 hours. That's how big this tape recorder is. When I told them girls, it would be much better if they just show me themselves than for me to see it another way. It's the same principle. It'd be better for people to just show me this stuff themselves and tell me this stuff themselves than to let me find out another way. Because when I find out like this, naturally I'm going to be more angry when I find it out like this. When people still being quiet and shit, and I done found this much, I done found out like this. It's like they had so many times to come and just tell you, the public had so many times to just come clean they damn self. But it's like the way God works, the longer they take, the more he just gonna show me more on my own. Like, I literally gotta tell myself stuff in my own damn music. That's why he had me rapping in the future. So just in case y'all never tell me, I could tell myself. That's why Now look, you want to know another thing? You want me to confirm to you again that I'm Bret the Hitman Hart? Listen to my song called Hustle Game. That's another song when I'm rapping in the future. I literally talk about the damn measurement. I'm talking about that fucking measurement in the song. I say, what I said? I said not Bret Hart, but I will sharpshoot you. See what I'm saying? That's what I said. And then I talk about the measurement. Yeah, if you listen to that song, I talk about Bret Hart, Bret the Hitman Hart. The same exact song, I'm talking about the measurement. And I say, I'm the total package, just like Lex Luger. I'm the total package, just like Lex Luger. Not Bret Hart, but I will sharpshoot you. See what I'm saying? I'm talking about the shit in the song. That's another song where I'm rapping in the future. So, you know, you can hear this shit in my music. It's all in my music. The song called Hustle Game. I'm that show. Not you see how show I am? That I'm Bret the Hitman Hart and your brother is Owen? The jealous little brother? And then look, I remember that shit so good. I remember that like it was yesterday. It was like my uncle, Keelan. Keelan had just got some money from a car wreck, right? I wanted to watch that wrestling show so damn bad, right? It was the one when he lost to his brother. You heard? When he lost to Owen. I told Keelan, I told Michael, I was like, go ask Keelan, can he order this wrestling match? Because at that time, you had to order it on pay-per-view. So, you know, so we couldn't watch it because it was on paper. They was like advertising or whatever. You know how they was showing the promo and they had like a countdown or something, like 30 minutes to its start. And I told him to go ask Keelan to order it. And Keelan told, and then Michael come running back in the room, and he was like, Keelan said, you gotta ask him yourself. That's what Michael told me. He was like, Keelan said, you gotta ask him yourself. It was the match where Bret Hart was about to wrestle Owen Hart. Bret Hart had two matches. Bret Hart had two. Let me move away before I have to flip somebody in this fucking parking lot. Yeah. Bret Hart had two matches that night. So he lost the first one to his brother. And then he won the next one. I forgot who he faced after that. I think he faced Yokozuna or somebody like that afterwards. And he won his second match. But that wasn't a title match. When Owen beat him, Owen didn't get his title. The title wasn't on the line. See what I'm saying? The title was not on the line. So Owen didn't get his title. He beat him, but he didn't get his title. Just for the record. Bret still kept his title. And then he went in for his next match. And so Owen did beat Bret that night, but the title wasn't on the line. So Bret kept his belt. And then he had to face somebody else, and he won the second match. I think Yokozuna was the one where the title was on the line. And he beat Yokozuna. So he kept his title. Owen couldn't get a title match, know why? Because he wasn't the number one contender. Yokozuna was the number one contender. Which is the equivalent of saying Owen Hart wasn't even good enough to face Bret. He just got to face Bret just because he was his brother. See what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm taking them to school all the way. I'm letting you know exactly why your brother did what all that shit he did. The wrestling tell you a lot. You heard? And if they call a group, uh, um, uh, Generation X, well, that's obvious, right? And they slogan was "Suck it." That's obvious. See, you got to go back to the 90s. Guess when they started Generation X? 1997. That's when they started it. It's that obvious. It was Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and X-Pac. X-Pac. His name was X-Pac. X-Pac. That's his name. That was the three people. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and X-Pac. Like Tupac, X-Pac. It was like they took Tupac name and put an X in front of it. It was Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and X-Pac. 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 Whatever his name was. Bruh, I'm that show. From the wrestling. You could go back to the wrestling and you could see my whole damn story. They telling you my whole fucking story in the wrestling. You that show. I'm Bret the Hitman Hart. So I know y'all thought when I said I'm Bret the Hitman Hart, I know y'all thought I was just making that up. Like you never thought, you wouldn't think, the public wouldn't think I was that serious, right? When I said I was Bret the Hitman Hart, the public would have never thought I was that serious, right? It's shocking to know how real it is, right? When I say I'm Bret the Hitman Hart, it shocked you to know how real I am. It shocked you to know how serious it is. So yeah, this is already 2 hours. You know, I think this is a good time to go ahead and cut this off. You know, I probably sound mad in this tape recorder, but if you was in my position, bruh, and you got screwed over this bad, because that's what they was saying about Bret at the end of his career. They was saying they screwed him. Vince McMahon screwed Bret. He got screwed. That's how I feel right now. I got screwed. Royally. So I'm about to go ahead and cut this off. You know, yeah, it is on the 13. It's 2 hours and 13 minutes. It needs to be on the damn 13. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I looked at the time, it was 12, but it was getting close to 13. Anyway, ain't no sense of me waiting till 14. So, you know, 2 hours and 13 minutes. I will upload this one to YouTube, because they need to hear this shit. I want to make sure they hear this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off.